Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.
Happy Friday, guys. Welcome in right here to WagerTalk TV. I'm Andrew McInnis, joined by Carmine Bianco and Lawrence Presman, host of WagerTalk today. Guys, I'm just happy to get into some playoff hockey talk. I'm done with the regular season. I'm done with these games that mean nothing. At least almost all of them meant nothing. I'm looking forward to the playoffs. Carmine, I'm sure you are too.
Yeah, I definitely am. I'm happy about last night. It went pretty well. Another 2-0 night. NHL and 1-1 overall. The one loss was the MLB one. Andrew, I had the Astros. They left like 7 guys on base in the first 5 innings. I had the 5-inning line on that one, so a little pissed off about that one. But our show best bet came in with the Minnesota game. Wow, 3-0 Minnesota, and then they lose 7-3. What a game. St. Louis, even in a meaningless game, are clearly in the Wild's head. Good thing they don't have to face them again. And now we have the playoffs. Tomorrow, first game, Boston, Washington, and 3 games on Sunday. The playoffs are here. I'm absolutely excited about it. And a man who has killed the NHL all year, I'm hoping he does the same in the playoffs. So with that said, hello, Prez.
Carmine Bianco, Andrew McInnis. Pleasure to be here, guys. And I had a crappy night last night. I went 5-0 on Wednesday, followed it right up with a sweet 0-3. Just drives me nuts. I had the over in the Calgary game last night, 2-1, 5 minutes into the game, and it didn't go over. But it's going to happen, and I got a quick story for you all. So I woke up this morning. I'm getting my deck painted today, and I walk outside, and there's a guy standing. He's wearing a Montreal Canadiens t-shirt. And I'm like, yo, dude.
In Toronto? In Ontario?
Go. Yeah, trader. So I'm like, yo, dude, you got to leave. Like, with no disrespect, I cannot have you on my premise wearing a Montreal Canadiens shirt. He's like, I don't have an extra shirt in the car. I'm like, I don't care. Drive home, change your shirt, and come back. And he says to me, no, I'm not a Montreal Canadiens fan. I'm a Leaf fan. I'm painting today. If I'm going to put crap on any shirt I own, it should be a Montreal Canadiens shirt. I'm like, dude, so right. Enjoy painting. Please.
Sounds like a great liar.
Mess that
Sounds
shirt
like a really, really good liar to cover up for not having to drive home. That's a really good on-the-spot lie there. Honestly, though, Prez, if I was you, I would do the same thing. What kind of person that lives in Ontario owns a Montreal Canadiens shirt? I mean, he could have moved, don't get me wrong, but honestly, I get where you're coming from. I'd do the exact same thing, man.
Well, you know what, dude? I believed him. I believed him. I asked him. I quizzed him on some Leaf questions.
Okay.
You know, he looked like a good guy, right? I mean, like, only bad people cheer for the Habs. So
Who hires somebody to paint their deck? Dude, you have so much money from this NHL season. You should just replace your deck with a new one. I don't get it.
Well, I did replace it, and now it's getting painted. So I did replace it. I'm also doing the cabana.
I spent my morning on the golf course, so it was an unbelievable way to start off my Friday. Beautiful day out there. Had a few pars. Other than that, don't want to talk about the other bad shots that I hit. But guys, I spent the last couple of days in a town known as Splitsville. I'm not happy being in Splitsville. It's been still an unbelievable run in NHL and MLB. Looking forward to getting out of that town tonight and moving into a better town. So let's get out of Splitsville and find some winners for tonight, guys. But we're going to talk some NHL playoff series, Boston, Washington, Islanders, Pittsburgh. We're going to talk Tampa Bay and Florida, and of course, Minnesota and Vegas as well. And You know, guys, last night I mentioned there were some games that were meaningful and some games that weren't. Colorado gets handed the President's Cup trophy, or the President's Trophy, and things are a little bit switched up now. I'll be honest, if I was Colorado, I would have much preferred to play Minnesota versus St. Louis, but I'll look forward to hearing your guys' thoughts on that. The Boston Bruins and the Washington Capitals, the season series, Carm, 4 games apiece, -120, +100, totals 5.5. First game here, going to be one hell of a series. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's crazy because this is one of those ones where, and there's a few series, and we'll see what Prez has to say about this, but where I really don't think, other than getting the last change, obviously, that home ice comes into it. You look at these two teams, and you said it, 4-4 this year in the 8 games they played each other, and both teams won 2 games in the other team's arena. This is one where it's surprising. The opening game line was about -110 each way for these, but the series price is -155 on the Bruins, even though they are the number 3 seed. The Bruins are also the only team, I'm going to toot my own horn here, the only team of the 4 that I took in our preseason show that didn't win the division. I took Carolina, they won. I took Colorado, they won. And I took, the Leafs was a slam dunk. I took the Leafs. That was a no-brainer. They won. The Bruins had a chance to win the division, but I win 3 of 4, and maybe they'll just win this division now in the playoffs and advance to the next round. The Bruins are playing well. They gave Washington all they can handle in some of those games. I actually think that this team is coming around. The thing is, I wouldn't want to take the series price at $1.55. It was lower early on. You could have got it. And this is one thing which I'm going to preface talk about when we get to the Vegas series, but it's also something that I want to ask the Prez about. Is a lot of times, if you're uncomfortable with taking a series price at high vig, why not wait for the first game? You either pass on it or wait for the first game. And if it goes against the team who is a favorite in the series, let's say Washington wins this game, Washington will now be about a 130 or 140 favorite to win the series, and you can get the Bruins at plus money. It's the same thing in that Vegas series that they're -220. Vegas loses the first game to Minnesota. You're going to get Vegas at about -110, -120 to win the series. So maybe you sit out game 1 as far as the series bet goes. I'm taking the Bruins. I like the Bruins here in the series, and I like the Bruins to win game 1.
Carmine likes the Bruins to win game 1. It feels so good, guys, to be talking about playoff hockey, and I get it. We're going to be talking about those in-series prices. Carm, you and I will be talking about those throughout a large part of these playoffs, and I think, guys, it's important you guys shop around, use multiple books, try and find all kinds of different options. I'm betting a lot of totals for a series, under, over 5.5 games, 6.5 games, and Prez, when I look at this series, I know I'm kind of a broken record with the word depth, but I feel like that's the most important factor in the playoffs. You want your star players to be your star players. But as far as the Capitals goes, you look at Alexander Ovechkin, Nicholas Backstrom. They pick up a guy named Anthony Mantha from the Detroit Red Wings. I think he's a great player, a power forward, a player that fits in with them. They're going to need guys like him, Lars Eller, the secondary guys to play really well, because I feel like for this Bruins team, Taylor Hall, it only took him, I think, 2 or 3 games for the Bruins to score more goals than he did in his entire season with the Buffalo Sabres. David Krejci finally has a line mate on the second pairing. They also have a guy named Daniel Sprong on the third. And let's not forget about Tuukka Rask. Ever since Tuukka Rask's injury, he has been unbelievable for the Boston Bruins. So, Prez, I like the Bruins here as well. Not in love with the price. I'm still going to find a way to make some money on this Bruins team. I think the series goes deep, but I like this Bruins team. What are your thoughts?
Andrew, look, firstly, I find a lot of these matchups. Right now, I'm looking at them and I'm thinking this is going to be tough sledding, handicapping these games. So many of these matchups are high-scoring team, Washington, playing a low-scoring team, Boston. High-scoring team, Pittsburgh, playing a low-scoring team, Islanders. High-scoring team, Leafs, playing nobody, Montreal, and on and on and on. There's raying that Minnesota and Colorado would play each other. So at least we had two teams that played a similar game. I mean, you're going to have a situation where you're literally going to have to guess. Is it going to be Washington and the over or Boston and the under? In regards to this series, I like Boston on the series as well, but there is no chance I am betting that number. I think the series goes to 7 games. So if anybody wants to bet Boston, just bet them in 7, and it will lower your odds substantially. In regards to what Carm was saying, I agree. Normally, I would not agree. So, for instance, Toronto is minus 300 against Montreal. I wouldn't sit there and say, okay, I'll wait, and if Montreal wins the first game, I'll get Toronto at minus, 180. Montreal's not going to win the first game, and then I've missed that bet. Whereas in this Boston-Washington series, or any series that I think will go 7, you are almost good to go betting the losing team of game 1 to win the series, no matter which team that is. I think we're going to see a zigzag situation play out in the series. So if Washington loses the first game, they're going to be plus 2 something. They're going to be a good series bet. And if Boston loses the first game, they're going to come to a pick 'em, give or take. And I think they're going to be a good series bet. So I like the concept in this series of waiting to see who wins that first game and just bet the other team to win the series. And after the second game, when they zigzag, you're actually going to find yourself with plus money on both teams if you want.
Yep.
Good stuff, yeah. And I love betting the totals as well, which is very similar to in games. You can bet over 6.5 games in a series. But Prez, just to go back at you, I mean, to use the same theory you said about that Leafs and Habs series, and this isn't anything about you and I back and forth. I'm just curious, because if you like the Bruins to win, they could lead that whole series or tie, and the odds will never change. They could only potentially go down or go higher. So if you like the Bruins
that's
to win
what
the
I'm
game,
saying. Like,
if they go up 1-0, though, you're not going to get a better price on them. You're going to only get the best price at the start of the series. If you like the Bruins, you should bet them now, right? To win the series.
No, because I don't believe there's any value in betting them now. It's not about.
But if they win, there's no value. It's worse. If they win the game 1, game 2, they're going to be like minus 220.
Andrew, I never look at these bets as who's going to win the series, therefore make the bet. Boston Bruins are going to win the series, minus 860. Are you in? You want to take a minus 860 on the Bruins?
No, but the price is minus 160.
So where is the number? Will you take a minus 600? No. You've already admitted that minus 160 is a bad number. Therefore, I won't make that bet. I'm not going to make a minus 160 bet because I think Boston is going to win. That's what amateur recreational bettors do. Boston's going to win. I don't care what the price is.
Yes or no? If Bruins win the first game, the price will be well higher than game 1.
Yes, and I'm going to bet Washington to win the series.
Okay.
That's
so
what
you think
I said.
It's
whoever
so
wins the first game. This series is going 7. It is a coin flip. Whoever wins the first game, and ideally it's Boston, you're going to get Washington at plus 280.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, great point. I get
the other team.
I'm glad I was able to get this kind of a response out of the two of you. My point, and I think you guys touched on it. My point originally was. Sorry, my point initially is that I'm completely uncomfortable at times laying big series prices. Sometimes I'm fine with it. But in general, if there are 8 series and there's 4 of them or 5 of them that are minus 200, I can't take all 5. I'm going to pick the best of the best and then wait out game 1. And if game 1, the team that I liked wins the game, and now they're at, and Andrew says it, minus 300, minus 400, for me, it's unplayable. I don't mind that I missed the boat is the point I'm trying to make with these types of bets. Is sometimes I'll wait out because we've seen it in NHL playoff series of years past. Is the road team tries to win that first game, get one game in the bank, and this is what affects series prices. sometimes it will blow up in your face. And listen, guys, it blew up in my face 2 years ago.
Yep.
Tampa Bay lost that first game to Columbus, and I thought to myself, look at this price on Tampa Bay. There is no way they are losing this series. And then they lost game 2, and I took more Tampa Bay in game 2. By the time game 3 rolled around and Tampa lost again, I was washing cars to make extra money. So
Me and you both.
With that said, it does happen. If I miss the boat on a bet because my team won game 1, I just pass on the series completely or look for value later on.
Absolutely, and I get that. I've just heard Prez on WagerTalk today say, someone's talking about value, and they say, I can get plus $300, plus 300 on this game. And, if someone says, I'm going to put $500 on it, Prez says, well, that 500 is going to turn you into nothing. You know what I mean? I've heard you say value is only value on a winning wager. Yeah, value is only value on a winning wager. I just want everybody to know.
Andrew, everybody needs to know that comes from Carmine, because Carmine at the beginning of every year sends a note to all his friends saying, hey guys, the Leafs are plus 1,400 to win the Stanley Cup. Just to let you know, that means if you bet $100, you will make $0 every year without fail. So I stole that from the card.
I know there's a separation of opinion here, but my whole opinion is the playoff more than any other time. I pick the winner. I'm not trying to look, I wish that minus 160 was a minus 140. I think they're going to win the series, so I'll bet them at that price. That's all I'm trying to say. We got to move on, though, Carm, so finish up your point.
I'm going to, one last point is to Prez's thing. I've made fun of all my friends who are Leaf fans all year long. I do it every single season. The time the playoffs roll around, they haven't won an open round series in 17 years.
Blah, blah, blah.
They've set it up this year where this team should make it to the semifinals. If the Leafs win the cup, somehow win the cup this year, I've got to move. I'd really have to move and change my name. I'll just reverse the letters. Instead of Carmine Bianco, it'll be Barman Lianco or something like that. Leaf fans won't figure it out, but please, for the love of God, anybody but the Leafs.
I heard if the Leafs don't win this year, they're going to call in Kevin Durant to try and get the job done for them. But look, for our next series, it's going to be the Islanders.
Hilarious.
If you follow basketball, it is. The Penguins and the Islanders, our next series. Penguins minus 145, Islanders plus 125. I'm going to cover this game in full on WagerTalk today with Prez and Teddy. So I'll throw it to you, Prez, for your breakdown on this game and the series.
Andrew, look, dude, I like the Penguins here. I look at this Islander team, and I've been saying for the last month, this team is just absolutely struggling to score. I mean, we talk about, you look at Edmonton Oilers and you say, okay, they have, they don't have a lot of scoring depth. Colorado's third and fourth line aren't going to put up a whole lot of points. Boston's third and fourth line, they lack depth. The New York Islanders don't even have a first line when it comes to scoring. Matthew Barzal, their superstar, please, come on, man. Great two-way hockey player. The Mike Pekka of today, but this team just can't score. And I understand that they are lights out defensively, second best defense in the league. I get it. They are better than Pittsburgh in goal. They are better than Pittsburgh on defense. They probably have a slightly better coach than Pittsburgh. They just can't score. Andrew, I look at this series and I think minus 145 for the Penguins is a pretty good price. This is a team that got shellacked last year. Crosby is probably pissed off still about that. They are running out of time. Their pickup, Carter, has been probably him and Taylor Hall, the two best pickups so far. Letang is healthy. I just don't know how the New York Islanders are going to keep up with this team. I don't even think this goes 7. So Pittsburgh for me, and I have no issue with minus 145.
I don't know how they keep up with them either, Carm. I don't know how they can do it because I know you and I love the defensive ability and the Trotz mentality, but if Pittsburgh plays good defensive hockey, they have much more talent offensively. And let's not forget, like Prez said, Malkin didn't show up. the Penguins didn't look good last year against the Montreal Canadiens, and I feel like this year they'll look for some revenge.
Yeah, I see that, but just because you seek revenge doesn't mean you're going to actually get revenge.
Yep.
And
I knew you'd
you
say
have to
that.
think about.
I knew you'd say that, Carm.
The Pens beat them. Pens beat them 6 out of 8 games this year. All 4
Yeah.
games at home. Pittsburgh won. They've got home ice in this one, but this is the same one. Of you got to look at this first game, and the first game could easily establish the mentality or the psyche of this Pittsburgh team if they lose. 2019, we're going back. 2019, the Islanders swept them in 4. 2020 in the bubble, Montreal, a team that wasn't supposed to compete with Pittsburgh, beat Pittsburgh, and they kept rolling out. The odds makers kept rolling out minus 220s on Pittsburgh. Andrew, you remember that every single game. Game 1, 220. Game 2, 220. And what were the Canadians doing? Competing. If the Islanders can somehow get back to playing their style of hockey, where they make the Penguins play their style of hockey, do they have a chance to upset the Pittsburgh Penguins? I think so. This is going to be a lot closer series than most people think. Of all the series, this is probably the one where one team dominated the other team during the regular season. But when the playoffs come, it's a completely different beast. And we'll see. We'll see where the headspace is with this Pittsburgh team, especially if they lose game 1 of this series. So
yeah,
I think
a great point.
Of all the series, this might be the one where you could probably find an upset in the making. We'll see. We'll see on the weekend.
I'm definitely a believer that playoff hockey is different than regular season hockey. I mean, big time. Things change. Coaching changes. The aggression level picks up. Sometimes new stars rise up to the occasion. No doubt about it, Carm. And the Islanders are known to play underdog. They've done it last year. They've done it in the past. Curious to see how this series pans out. Let's jump into the Wild and the Golden Knights. And Carm, this is a new matchup that we didn't really expect to see. But now we have it here. Golden Knights listed as minus 260 series favorites here in this one. And I'll be honest here. I mean, I think this benefits this Golden Knights team big time that they avoided the St. Louis Blues. I'm not sure if you guys agree with me on this, but last night I'm thinking to myself, I was actually ready to maybe make some money on the Blues winning a few games, against the Golden Knights, potentially cashing some tickets for me or looking over the total. But I just think that you look at veteran leadership versus veteran leadership, give that edge to the Golden Knights. Goaltending, experience level, give that edge to the Golden Knights. With Pacioretty gets going, Mark Stone, if the secondary core gets going, Pietrangelo, they got him. He's a rock-solid defenseman. Kirill Kaprizov, he's been great for the Wild. I think that they've developed some great chemistry with Fiala and Spurgeon, but they just aren't enough, Carm. I think many people are expecting this to be a competitive series. The Wild cashed me some tickets, made me some money down the stretch. I'm just not ready to buy in that they're playoff ready. I think the Knights get the job done easier than some might think.
Yeah, Andrew, I'm going to have to, first of all, I'm going to say sorry, Terry. And then second of all, Andrew, I completely agree with you. Listen, this Vegas team is playing extremely well. They just, any other division, they're likely winning the division. Colorado is one that 2-1 game decided this division. And Vegas played that game with 15 players on the bench, 5 defensemen. And if you watch that game, that was playoff hockey at its best. Vegas gave Colorado absolutely nothing on the ice, and a couple opportunities that they did get, they scored on. I don't know if Minnesota can turn it on like playoff type hockey. They can't play the way they played during the regular season in the playoffs. We see so many teams think that all you've got to do is score, just outscore the other team, play these open games. You can't do that against a Vegas team who are playing playoff type hockey. We saw it against St. Louis. Minnesota tried to play open hockey against the St. Louis Blues, who the last 5-6 games against the Minnesota Wild played playoff type hockey. And last night, even in a meaningless game, down 3-0, they just could have packed it in. they scored 7 goals against that team. And these teams were playing their regular players. So with that said, this number is high. Can Minnesota win game 1? They probably could. You get Vegas at minus 120, minus 130. I don't think so. If you're looking at series here, this is where you take Vegas to win the series. You lay a game and a half in the series, which means that if Vegas wins in 4, 5, or 6 games, you cash that bet, and you're paying a lot less than minus 220 here. You're paying about a buck 20, laying a game and a half. So Vegas to win in 4, 5, or 6 games, minus 120 is the way to go here.
Like that, minus 1.5. Lots of ways, guys, to bet these series. And Prez, the three of us are Canadians. Our media shows us highlights and stuff like that from all of these divisions, but we see a lot of the North Division action. But boy, oh boy, this Western Division is going to be something to watch.
Do you want me to talk about the series or the Western Division?
The series, but I was just kind of teeing you up for it.
Oh, okay.
All right, my fault.
Guys, I'm not with you, man. I listen, I think Vegas they're incredible. I mean, they are almost as good as Tampa Bay was 2 years ago. I mean, that's how good Vegas is. And Tampa Bay got swept 4-0 by Columbus. This is the worst possible matchup for Vegas. And Andrew, when we talk about, Minnesota, are they ready? Are they veteran enough to make a big run in the playoffs? No, they're not. But their lack of playoff experience and their youth is going to bode well for them in the first series. Just like Montreal last year beat Pittsburgh. Just like Tampa Bay lost to Columbus the year before. Just like Pittsburgh lost to the Islanders the year before. We saw Carolina make a nice run a couple of years ago as their young team started to feel it. We saw the Islanders win a couple of series. The bottom line here is whose sphincter is going to be tighter in this series? You got Vegas, who has literally its top or bust, and Minnesota, who's like, hey, man, win-win. We either get more games or we get to hit the golf course. Good season. Let's just go have fun. This Minnesota team is going to be a bloody tough out for Vegas. And, Andrew, I think Vegas is the fastest team in hockey. All 4 lines coming at you at 100 miles an hour. Minnesota can actually keep up with this Vegas team. They got great goaltending, good frontline first pairing on D. Krill is like all world. There is no chance in hell I'm laying minus 260 or whatnot for Vegas. I think I'd rather take Minnesota right off the bat, frankly. I think the series is going to be tougher than everybody thinks. With that said, keep in mind, Vegas is a much better team. And if they play each other 5 series in a row, Vegas will win 4 of them. I just feel like St. Louis would have been a much better matchup for this Vegas team. Minnesota, man, I would not want to play a team that has nothing to lose and is so young.
I love that rant, Prez. That was awesome. Lots of energy. Although we're a little bit on different pages, it's hard to really disagree with the stuff that you said. And it's a really good point, which team is facing more pressure, which team has more to lose. And it seems like those young guys, like you said, have just risen to the occasion. So I love that. Great points there. And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, all the pressure on the Golden Knights in that series, it's a huge upset opportunity for the Minnesota Wild. And again, Prez, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but maybe you can take the series spread on this for the Wild to keep things close. Is that something you'd ever be interested in? I think obviously you want the plus value, but
I'll tell
maybe
you,
to keep it close.
Andrew, I'll tell you flat out, I would have no issue if people bet Minnesota right now on the series. Vegas, Minnesota then wins that first game, jump right back with Vegas. But when push comes to shove, I don't really see value in betting any series. Andrew, in all seriousness, it makes very little sense to bet most series. Like just bet Minnesota on the money line every game, and if they win the series, you would have made more money than had you have bet the series in the first damn place. So I don't even understand this whole series betting concept. I have no issue if you want to take a flyer, on betting the Stanley Cup champion, but I don't look at these series and think, I'm going to take the Leafs minus 300. Why? I'll just take the Leafs every single game, and I'll make more money.
I get that. No, that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. We got to move on here. Yeah. We're going to get into our next game, and it was a good segue from you there, Prez, talking about a Stanley Cup champion, the Tampa Bay Lightning. They go up. It's the Sunshine State battle here. The Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning laying minus 160, Panthers plus 135. Season series, Carmine, 5-3 in favor of the Panthers. Some electrifying games. These teams played each other down the stretch, and a lot of animosity, a lot of aggressiveness after the whistle, a lot of penalties. It's going to be one great series. I'm curious your thoughts here. Lightning minus 160.
Yeah, this will be much different than the other series where Prez is telling people pretty much to bet on the Wild. Prez, I'm going to give you, you can look it up, Isaiah 53. You might want to look that one up in the Hebrew Bible there of leading lambs to slaughter. But anyways, with this game here, Tampa, Florida, yeah, you'll get it eventually.
Last night. I ate lamb last night. Lamb was slaughtered last night, Carm.
Yes.
And the Hebrew Bible is the same Bible, so we don't need to get into whether it's Hebrew or not Hebrew. And I also don't need you quoting Fantasyland.
There's so many things. There's so many things that were just said.
Who would have thought you'd get a religious thing during puck time? Anyways, with regards to this one, the price is a lot higher on Tampa than I thought it would be to win the series, 143. Again, this is one where Florida won 5 of the 8 games. The last 2 games where I think Tampa just mailed it in there. The last couple of games, as far as they were concerned, get into the playoffs healthy, get the bodies back in, and we know that Stamkos will be back. We know that after off-season hip injury, back for the playoffs, and he's been practicing with the team for quite a while now, Kucherov, and that adds an element to that power play. It adds an element to the top line. This is one where I'm going to go with Tampa, the minus 110 in the first game. The series is at 143. If I can find it lower, this series is probably going to go about 6 games. It could very well go 7 games, but I think, and this is where I'm going to throw back to Prez. He talked earlier in the season about winning culture, and Florida needed to find that winning culture that they did not have, or they might not have. Do they have it now, Prez? No. That's the answer. That's the question I'm going to ask you, and which is why I'm going to take Tampa. They've been here before, and I understand how tough it is for a Stanley Cup champion to repeat. But we're not asking them to repeat. We're asking them to win a series and an opening series. And having been surprised 2 years back in the opening round, they also know that you can't take any opponent lightly, especially a Florida team that can score goals. So for me, it's Tampa here.
Andrew, you want me to talk?
Yeah, go ahead. I thought he was going to.
Okay. Yeah. Florida does not have a winning culture, but they will after this series.
I love it.
Florida at plus 140. Are you kidding me? Like this, at the best case scenario, this is a coin flip. Minus 110, both teams. You want me to pay an extra 50 cents because the Lightning are getting the most overrated player in the history of hockey, Steve Stamkos, back? Woohoo, big bloody deal. How about Kucherov? Guys, yeah, Kucherov is great. Hedman is great. Stamkos is mediocre at best. They have the single best weapon on the ice, Vasilevsky. That's who this is coming down to. If he stands on his head, Tampa Bay has a chance to win. If he doesn't, I'm telling you now, man, Florida in 4. That's a good bet. What's that, plus 800 or something? This Florida, Barkov is the best player. I'll take Barkov over Kucherov right now. And then
I'll tell you this, Prez.
Huberdeau.
He is the most slept-on player in the league. Slept-on player in the league. The biggest sleeper in the league.
Barkov is, and his defensive game, his back checking, his forechecking. Oh, Barkov is all world, bro. And Huberdeau and Bennett is playing really well. They got a killer defense. Man, there's Spencer Knight, who might not even see the net, is like the next coming of goaltenders. They got the potentially the greatest coach in the history of hockey behind their net. Minus 160?
That's a lot of, well, no one said minus 160. It's 140.
That's a lot of, I'm with Prez.
Listen,
I'm with Prez.
Okay.
I'm with Prez. Their defensive core is completely underrated.
Guys,
their defensive core is so underrated.
Yeah, oh my God, Andrew. Their defensive core all the way down is incredible. But listen, I'm not saying Florida will win in 4. But value-wise, no, I said take it. If it's plus 800, it's great value. But no, Florida, like of any series here, you take Florida at plus 140, that is a great bet. Take the Leafs at minus 6,000, great bet. Those are the two good bets available to you.
All right, Carm, any closing thoughts from you regarding this series? Then give us your best bet and what you have up for tonight, man.
Yeah, I understand all of these great points that the Prez made, but this team is still a year away from being a true Cup contender. Whether you think
I agree with that,
they're going to win this series, whether you think they're going to win the series or not. If Tampa wins one of the two games, especially if Tampa wins the opening game, this series could be over a lot quicker than most people think if Tampa wins game 1. Because when they head back, and I understand this is a good Florida team, when they head back to Tampa Bay, where Vasilevsky 18-2 this season at home, 1.79 goals against average, 0.943 save percentage. This man does not lose at home. So he's going to have to be off for Tampa to have a chance. He's going to have to be off for Tampa.
All right, boys, we got to get into the best bets.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, just to clarify, it sounds like he lost 2 games. Just wanted to throw that out there. And I'm guessing they probably were likely to Florida, but anyway. Guys, do not bet Tampa Bay. You don't want to bet Florida, don't.
Hold on. I've been instructed that I need to work on my skills of controlling a show better. So we're going to try and do that by giving it to Carm to give us his best bet for tonight, and then let us know what he has up at WagerTalk.com.
All right. Great time to use that code ST40. It expires at midnight to get $40 off a 7-day all-access, my 7-day all-access package. That code's for mine. It was a stoppage time code, because I have 2 plays up this afternoon in soccer, absolutely crushing soccer so far. No play up in NHL, because that's going to be my free pick on this show. But the weekend, I already have 4 games up tomorrow in soccer action, a 5% play up for Sunday, and a couple Sunday plays already loaded in the back end for my clients. So you can get all that MLB coming, NHL both days. So that 7-day all access is going to get all of it. I'm going to go to the one game tonight in the NHL, which is Leafs and Winnipeg in Winnipeg. Usually we don't know who's playing in these games because these are throwaway games. But Winnipeg has released. There's only one guy, Andrew Copp out tonight for Winnipeg. They are starting their full team tonight. Hellenbuck, if I pronounce his name right, Hellenbuck in net tonight. Campbell for the Leafs. I don't know what the Leafs lineup is going to look like, but we know Winnipeg is putting everybody out there. They're talking about trying to get into the playoffs on a bit of a roll, which means they're going to try and finish 500 at home as well, too, with a win tonight. They're plus 140. I don't know what we get from the Leafs tonight, because this is a meaningless game for the Leafs for all intents and purposes. So give me Winnipeg plus 140 as the show best bet.
Winnipeg plus 140. Any disagreement there, Prez?
No, brother. I mean, I got some stuff to say, but no, I'm with Carr. My show best bet is Winnipeg as well. I mean, I don't even know why the Leafs are playing the game tonight. You know, Andrew, we really didn't get to speak about the Vancouver-Calgary playoff series that is about to take place during the middle of the playoffs. What the hell's going on with that? How do you set up the week and bring me on and not discuss the Habs-Leaf series? I mean, how?
Because this show has been 41 minutes, Prez, and we have to go. This show has been. You have a show in 19 minutes.
Andrew,
you have a show to do.
Andrew, you could have spoken about one of those other series yesterday and saved the Habs-Leaf series for us. How you did not think about that? Nope. Well, we didn't have to talk Florida and Tampa Bay.
Do you know when the series starts? Next Thursday. When's the next time that you're on here? Next Wednesday.
Good point.
Give us your best bet. We got to go, Prez.
Good point. Mwah.
Okay, Prez likes the Jets too. Prez likes the Jets too. I don't want to get our producers after me. I was going to give out a best bet for next week. I'll still say I lean over in the Tampa Bay and Florida game, but I want to give out a series price, and it's going to be on the Pittsburgh Penguins, minus 145. So mark me down, guys. Pittsburgh Penguins to win their playoff series. I'm just happy to be back talking some playoff hockey, guys. A lot of fun. There's going to be some disagreements. It's all love. Always love working with these guys, and we'll see you guys Monday, back talking about some playoff series. When we see you guys, we will be wrapping up and talking about some of the action we saw over the weekend. So give me the Penguins on the series price, Carmine Jets and the Prez Jets as well at the plus 140 price. I am on WagerTalk today with Prez at 1 o'clock, at 12 o'clock Eastern. Drew Martin's also on, and so is Ski Profit. I'll see you guys then. Other than that, have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.
Have you checked out all the new handicappers at Sports Memo? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily picks purchase using coupon code TRYMEMO. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to sportsmemo.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, pick a daily picks package, and use coupon code TRYMEMO at checkout, and save 50% off of your first purchase.